All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the untitled podcast from the absurd. Whatever, who cares? I have with me today Mr. Conor Spellane. Spellane? If you were Hispanic, you might say Spellane.
Yeah, if I was Italian, I could be Spellini.
The double L of the band Karma Vulture, the fantastic rock band here.
Oh, the double L, yeah.
We're going to chat about all kinds of bullshit. Don't judge us too hard. What's up, man?
What's up, dude? How you doing?
Fucking living it up, man.
Yeah.
Here in LA, making music, being broke, being a jackass. Tell me what's going on with you.
Yeah, pretty much that, in a nutshell. It's more complicated than that, certainly, but...
How so?
Well, the being broke part, that part sucks.
Why must you be broke?
Well, it's not that I must be broke, it's that I've decided...
I found with a lot of musicians I meet, you're all committed to being broke. What is wrong with you guys?
Well, I think if musicians just in general, creative people in general, probably aren't the best with money. You know what I mean? I'm no different in that. I'm not the greatest with money. It's not something I'm super good at. But a part of the reason that I'm broke is because I dump all this money into my band. And there's a list of 20 things that I still need, like $10,000 for. So it's not like it ever ends, you know what I mean? And then I'm sure once we're at a level where, we're having to pay for festival fees, all kinds of stuff, it's just going to be worse. It's not going to be better.
Is there a point that you would get to with your band? Because your band, Karma Vulture, is awesome.
Thank you.
Your band is awesome. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
I've seen within the last 6 months. How long have I known you?
It was a year on 420, right, that we met, I believe.
So a little longer than a year?
Yeah, a little bit longer than a year. Because we did the Lot 1 420 show. It was the first time we ever played with you guys. It was us and the Gitas and you guys. I think the Olivans too. And
where did we play?
At Lot 1. At Lot 1. And I remember we did not...
you guys went last.
See, yeah, that's the thing. We
jammed out for
we went last
hours at a time.
We went because Josh was getting the hang of this whole throwing shows thing, I think, still. We went on an hour and a half later than we were supposed to. And at the time, I was still drinking. I don't drink anymore. I haven't had drinking almost a year at this point. Yeah.
Slancha.
Yeah, Slancha's right. So, we had kind of just started playing shows, and I was still drinking. We all were still drinking quite heavily. And at that show, we played at 1 a.m, and we're shit-faced, not to put too fine point on it. So we didn't play. We were recording, and Josh was like, "Oh, it's rad. Check it out." I'm like, I was mortified, dude. I could not fucking believe how awful we sounded. The vocal, I was pushing darks. I couldn't hear. It was a mess. We were drunk.
I've heard you be mortified with shows though before. When it turns out you guys
something
are great.
I'm good at. Well, we were not great this particular. Take my word for it. I'm sure Josh can dig up the recording.
No, I was there. You weren't great.
Okay, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
But there was something. You guys are a really good example, and the reason I asked how much did you have to invest in it is because you guys are a really good example of a band who's actually. You've put in the time and the effort, at least as I've been here, to go from you were never bad, right?
Yeah.
But it was okay, I think I get what's going on, to I could see what the potential was, but that's all I could see.
Yeah.
Versus now I'm these guys kick ass.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a mixture. I think it's a mixture of things. This is something I think
What
about.
changed? I mean, that's an incredibly short amount of time for a band to change like you guys did. You gotta recognize that.
Sure, I think
you've been playing music a while too. Yeah.
Since I was at least half my life at this point, a little longer, I think maybe. But I mean that's where I devoted time and energy to it. I mean, I started playing when I think I was I started playing the bass, believe it or not, when I was you can believe it. You know me from Karma Vulture.
I've seen you play guitar.
Yes. Oh, you have seen me play guitar now.
You're a good guitar player.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
As far as I know.
Yeah, so I started playing the bass when I was maybe 12 years old, but I took it as seriously as any 12-year-old takes anything, which is not very. But I wanted to be in a band, man. I'll never forget. This is the first real memory I have of my dad playing music. Now, I have wispy memories of him doing, because my dad's a musician as well, and still is in a band to this day, and has been in bands his whole life, and is great. He fucking rips.
Yeah.
But basically, the first time I really remember seeing my dad play and having it make an impression on me, I was probably again 12, 13 years old. He plugs the Strat that's now mine.
Wait, your dad? What did he do?
So he's in the military for a little while.
Also, be conscious of the scraping of your arms on that. No, you're good. You're good.
I'm sure it's making a horrible.
Bud.
Oh yeah.
No, because you have interesting things to say, and I want people to hear it.
So my dad's an interesting cat. He's maybe a whole other podcast in and of himself. But yeah, so he was a musician when he was about our age. You know what I mean, professionally so. Ripping guitar player. Great singer now, and I'm losing my train of thought. Right, saw my dad play guitar. Right, I was maybe 12 years old, and we were sitting in my kitchen at the time, and my dad plugged what is now my Strat that you saw me play at rehearsal the other day. Actually,
the one with the weird neck.
I've done all kinds of stuff for that, okay. But at the time it was his Strat.
What kind of neck is that?
It's a Warmouth. I love Warmouth, dude.
Warmouth? Is that the way they make their necks?
Oh, I just kind of designed that like online, and then It
was really comfortable. It was a really kind of weird though. It was almost like a V.
It's a clapping shape.
Sharper.
It's their V clapping shape. So it's in between like a V and a U, but it's like a pretty. It's like it's not like that. You know what I mean? It's almost got like an edge to it or a point. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's really comfortable in your hand. Well, your hands are big like mine.
Yeah,
see, when your hands are big, like you just like some guitars like the rounded doesn't sit right in your hand.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
back on point. So I saw my dad play guitar when I was like 12. We were in my kitchen, man, and I just remember. Okay, he plugged my what is now my Strat into his little pig nose, and man, my dad rips. So this is the first time I ever remember seeing him play electric, and he's just ripping it up, and I'm like, holy shit! Like I want to do that in some way, shape, or form. I didn't really understand that would then become what is now my life. Or my passion.
Your dad's the reason you played guitar?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, so wait, was your dad in bands in the scene? Was he in local bands? Or
yes,
he was really good.
His band back in the 70s, late 70s, they were great actually. They were called Foolish Pride.
Foolish Pride?
Yeah, after a little lyric from Layla.
What other kind of pride is there?
Yeah, right, exactly. So, man, their music was really great. It's a lot of guitar harmonies, like a lot of vocal harmonies. It's awesome. He's got a couple songs. They're good songs.
Well, and was it in the genre that you play now? Because you sort of notoriously don't listen to the genre you play.
So for people that don't know, my band is pretty heavy.
Pitch Karma Vulture.
So I would say, let me put it this way, to at least people who kind of maybe are even listening to this, and we'll get it on some extent.
At least 3 people will.
Yeah, it goes to those 3 people.
So broadcast to them.
Yeah, so... We Soundgarden for me. I grew up playing like Allman Brothers stuff with my dad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like Deep Purple was like the heaviest shit I listened to.
Smooth, jammy kind of classic rock.
Yeah.
Or
Nirvana was like. I listened to Nirvana like right when I started playing music, and then I kind of like graduated to guitar-y shit. You know what I mean, guitar-y stuff. Yeah. And got away from like stuff that was like heavy or maybe a little bit aggressive. And I still don't listen to stuff that's heavy or aggressive, but my band is heavy and aggressive. But it was kind of like, for me, what changed my opinion on that style of music, because I was never really a big fan, to be honest. I went to music school with like metalheads, and they were constantly just, listening to stuff I just wasn't really my thing, But nice. Oh, that's a solid 4.
Yeah, it's about a 4.
Yeah,
it's about as good as you can give it.
Yeah. So I expect better from a man of your stature.
I expect to deliver better, but can't win them all.
So for me it was like really when I heard Soundgarden, right? Will was like super. Will, my guitar player, was super into Soundgarden. I liked a couple of their songs, because I like Nirvana, the same kind of shit, but I didn't really know anything about them. And man, I just heard like heavy, loud music that was also melodic and catchy. And there was songs. It wasn't just like, I don't know, some music that lots of people like a whole lot. So what the fuck do I know? I'm a waiter, you know what I mean? But
no, you know plenty, dude.
My point being, just a lot of it just seems gratuitous, man. Like it's just there's too much. It's not boiled down to its finest points. The product's not. It's like if someone gave you an unfinished product.
Do you not like the dynamics, or?
I mean, I feel like our music's fairly dynamic.
No, your music is, but I'm saying with the genre in general that you tend to fit into. Okay, for one, do you think you guys are do you think Karma Vulture is an outcast in your genre?
Well,
and how would you categorize yourself?
Maybe so, in that like I'm not coming from that point of view. You know what I mean? Like, dude, you'll find me listening to like Al Green or like James Bay or Ed Sheeran or pick somebody. I don't know, like some stuff that's not like, dude, okay, like our friends the Gitas. Like I love their records because it's not just like bashing you in the face with their brutality. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
there's subtlety to it. There's an art to it. It's not just, which I'm not saying there's not to this music that I don't particularly care for, but it's not the kind of art that I set out to make. Maybe.
Okay, so could you do this? So within the genre that you kind of fit into, which is heavy rock, sort of metal-y, mostly stoner rock kind of stuff. Yeah. Could you say, okay, here's a band or bands that's an example of what I don't like, and then here's the kind of bands who I think are kind of doing it right.
Man, Queens of Stone Age, for one, man. People want to call them all kinds of whatever they want to call them. Who cares, dude? They write amazing music.
I have
amazing
argued
songs.
that Like Clockwork is the best rock album to come out in the last decade or two.
We've spoken about this briefly.
I have yet to be presented with an alternative.
Man, and people would want to tell you that that's not true. But
a lot of people have tried. No one has succeeded.
It is one of the best works of art that has come out of any rock genre or any rock, whatever you want to call it, in a long time. I think personally,
masterful album,
masterful in every way.
Yeah.
Maybe there's not any real technical like wizardry or like masturbatory guitar solos, which is what people kind of look for sometimes, man.
I think Josh Homme might be a wizard.
Of course he is, but like, dude, if you listen,
he might not be from this planet.
To the lyrics and the arrangement and just sonically, it's just, man, look.
Okay, so if they're a band who you kind of like from the genre because they're doing it right, who would fit into that genre that isn't doing it right?
Okay, and people are gonna not like this very much, but I don't really like Sleep. Sleep is not my thing.
Really? Why not? They just put out a new album, half a year ago?
Man, I'm sure it's great, but like, I just to me.
Some people like it, not for me.
Dude, to me, like, okay, something I really look for a lot anymore, especially recently within the last couple of years, is singers, man. I like when the singer is really good.
The Sleep singer is not.
Yeah, man.
What's his name? Matt something.
I don't know. I don't fucking know.
I saw him at a Long Beach bar at the Prospector once.
Look, I'm not trying to talk shit on somebody. I'm sure these guys are amazing, dude. Again, like, they're asleep and I'm a waiter, so it's like my opinion is what it is, but. There's just like, I've been doing this for a long time, and the reason I set out to do this, when you boil it down to something simple, is like, there's aspects of my favorite shit that I'm just like, well, I can do that or better.
Okay, so give me this. Why'd you set out to do this? And given your musical tastes, how did you end up playing in this? Because in my opinion, Karma Vulture is like, they're not a brutal band. You guys have a really specific vibe. You guys have like a... It's not doom, but it's a really original vibe, man.
Thank you.
I'm excited to see what happens with the new drummer. I'm excited to see all of this stuff, because like, you guys do have a specific kind of like, there's a darkness to it. The live performance reflects the music. So how did you come to decide? Yeah, music. That seems like a lucrative choice for me professionally, long term. And then two, how did you wind up playing in this genre that you didn't listen to?
Well, and I guess I kind of did, but I've gotten away from it because of like this lack of, to me again, what constitutes like songwriting, like real arrangement. Like, dude, you're not like, let's for a second, let's talk about someone like Chris Stapleton, who's just a master to me, master songwriter. His voice is incredible. Like, I don't like that genre at all. Like, that's the thing. Like,
who's Chris Stapleton?
Oh, no, you don't know Chris Stapleton?
No, man. I'm not going to lie to my fans.
Tennessee Whiskey? You never heard that song? You're as smooth as Tennessee Whiskey.
I know the name Chris Stapleton, but I don't know who Chris Stapleton is. Wait, is he not from a band? He's a country artist or what?
Yeah, kinda.
So wait, is your doorway into music country?
No, okay. So let me get back to that. I'm from Philly, right? So no, my doorway into music was not country. It really was stuff like Nirvana, when I was a kid. That Nirvana is really what made me want to start a band. That and my a friend of mine who was my best friend at the time and got me into music. He who has since passed away, but it was really him and my dad. Like, he wanted to be a musician, and my dad was a musician, and I kind of thought like, oh, like, bands are cool, man. I like this shit. Like, not only that, man, I was a pretty sad kid. Like,
I thought, I'm in honors calculus, but bands are the way to go, really.
Well, man, it was just, I never
Were you good
really...
in academics?
Yes. I always did well in school. I had AP classes in high school.
Did you go to college?
I did not.
No.
I went to music school for a short period of time. Man, school has never
You John Mayered it.
School's never really been for me, shall we say.
But you were good at it.
Well, I'm very good at memorization as well. My memory is very good.
Yeah,
like,
wrote learning, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what school's about.
Especially auditory. Like if you, I didn't take a lot of notes. I didn't study a lot because if I just pay attention in class, I could do well in the test.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, so you always knew school kind of. When did you know that school wasn't for you?
Well, another important distinction is I went to Catholic school.
Through high school?
Up until my junior year, yes. Halfway through my junior year, I switched to public school.
In
the
Philly?
reason, yes, the reason that is an important distinction is because I think personally that like to a certain extent, I felt so lied to by school because religion just was not my thing either.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like it just wasn't. I often felt that a lot of my teachers, a lot of these priests, I just didn't think that they were that intelligent when it came down to it, and like they didn't really like being challenged or whatever it was. Man, I just it wasn't really my scene, and I think that ruined school for me a little bit. I
had the same, dude. I was just talking about it with a buddy of mine, actually on his podcast. It's called the Filth LA.
Yeah,
interesting podcast. He's somehow it came up that like one of the first things that made me realize that I'm curious or intellectually curious or whatever was religion, because I wasn't raised religious or anything. I'm from a Catholic background.
Sure.
But when my parents sent me to a Christian camp, summer camp, which was dope, 2 skate parks, all the paintball ranges.
Oh yeah, man. There's money. There's money there for sure, 100%.
In Spring Hill. I just asked. It wasn't even like I wasn't searching for a question. Or I wasn't searching for an answer. It was just like it was almost like I need to burp, so I do. And I would just be like, why aren't the dinosaurs in the Bible? Or something like that. And no one ever had a really good answer.
Look, I mean, a lot of it, too, like, I'm not saying it was all bad. It's not that. Like, I think religion has merit. I just think, that may be a different conversation.
Okay, so you know that you're not particularly into school. Antagonism to religion has something to do with that. So you were put in kind of a structure. Were you at a co-ed school or all-male?
For grade school, I was in a co-ed school, and then for high school, I was at all-male. And the all-male part wasn't the problem, honestly. Like, I had a girlfriend and stuff. Like, it was a blast. It was so much fun. I got to hang out with my friends.
What was his name?
My friends or my girlfriend?
Your girlfriend.
My girlfriend's up.
It came too late.
Didn't land. Yeah, no.
That was my fault.
Landed somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, so you do school. You decide you're going to do music right after that, or what?
Well, so I'd always kind of been in bands with my friends. You know, my little brother's fan-fucking-tastically talented. You would hate him. You would smack him. All my musician friends would, because he's the kind of guy,
super just from a young age. Just
and
precocious.
No, man, he's super. He'd be intimidated by all of us, but like he shouldn't be. He's great. He's rad. But man, he just plays. You're like, when was the last time you practiced? He's like, I don't know, a year ago. And you're like, oh, fuck off, dude. So I played with my brother, and eventually, when I got to be 15, 16, 17, I was playing with my dad in bars. Getting paid to do it, which was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah, man, it was an amazing experience.
Was that original music that your dad did, or
no? It was covers, really. Man, my least favorite thing when I was a kid. Now it's precious memories, that I have with my family. But we used to do Jimmy Buffett gigs, cover gigs, because they paid really well.
Yeah,
we'd get paid almost twice as much, so we'd do them. And I fucking hated Jimmy Buffett at the time, dude.
Oh,
now I can appreciate, man, the guy's a good songwriter, and he's filling a niche that I wouldn't have filled personally. But some of those songs, dude, he slips in some like legitimate, like really heartfelt, sad. Like he went to Paris, dude. That shit is like.
I'm with you in that when I was younger, I hated Buffett, and now I'm kind of like, I don't like Buffett, but like a couple songs come on, I'm like, all right,
dude. Some of them are legitimately.
I don't hate this.
Are legitimately good works of songwriting, like really.
Well, there's a difference too between liking and respecting music, isn't there?
100%.
There's a lot of bands and composers out there who like I was actually talking to Will, your guitarist, today, and I was like, man, it's funny because I know people, especially musicians, love to be contrarians and just challenge the status quo.
Sure.
So, like, I remember Josh, my bassist, was like...
Young Josh.
Young Joshua, he was like, Queens of the Stone Age, meh. And I'm like, no, dude, just... you can,
oh, dude.
Because there's certain bands, and now he's like... Right on.
Because if you listen, you get me.
Yeah.
You ever hear "I'm Designer"?
I feel like
that's a fucking riot of a song.
I feel like a lot of people who are just like, I don't like them, whatever band it is, just haven't listened to that band.
Well, dude, and that's another argument about my band that I argue to people is like
Yeah.
people that maybe wouldn't enjoy our style of music otherwise. Is like I always tell them like, yo, it's loud, but like we don't suck. It's well done. It's
You
professional.
guys are melodic though. You're not.
Yeah.
You're not just a loud rock band. You write songs that I remember, and I love pop music.
And look, I think that's part of why. Getting back to what we were talking about, I think that's part of why like. Maybe it's a little hard to pin what we are because like I just don't come at it from that angle.
Right.
I'm not going like, dude, Josh Homme is my idol. I'm just gonna be him. Like
right.
I took pieces of that man because he's fucking brilliant. But I'm not that guy. You know what I mean? We were listening to a little bit of it earlier. Theo Katzman. You know. Oh yeah. Like anymore, I really seek out singers. You know, the guy from Nothing But Thieves, another rock band who to me.
Nothing But Thieves. Bro. That's pretty. They made a really good album.
Everything they've put out has been great, dude. That's my argument. Is like some bands, their second and third album is like
their newest. So I'll say something that I probably shouldn't say here, which is that I went down to In Flight Music Studio with Lucas Flood, and that their new project was playing, and whoever was there was mixing it, and I was like, "Is this this isn't Queens of the Stone Age, is it?" Dude, Lucas Flood was like, bro, I've been meaning to bring that up. It sounds exactly like Queens of the Stone Age.
One of the songs does, yeah. It has the same kind of group.
That sucks, man.
No, but the rest of that EP is great. It doesn't sound anything like.
When did it come out?
I feel like the end of 2018. Maybe December, January.
I was in there pretty recently, so I wonder. Yeah, maybe they were just listening to it.
They were just listening to it, yeah, for sure. Because those guys are British and.
Yeah, because I know that, what was that album that had that one song that, I was just a kid.
That was their last record. That record was
so good.
Man, and it was really original too.
Yeah.
But dude, those guys are great. Like, I don't tend to come at music like that, man. I tend to like what I like and just, I'm not into a genre. I'm into talent. I'm into talented people displaying that and doing it professionally and well.
Okay,
you know?
So at a certain point, you must have been like which came? Did they come at the same time, or did one come first? The decision to come to LA, or the decision to play music for a living?
Well, okay, here's that kind of story, right? So
because a little East Coaster boy like you must have a story behind you.
Well, I wanted to, man, you know, like I said, I was a bummed out kid, right? Like. I played sports. I mean, I did stuff but I've always been just depressed like as a person, and I've found things that help with that. Cheers. And then I don't really do that shit anymore. Like I don't. But my point being, like
depressed musician, I know, right? Never.
But music always just mitigated that just enough to get through the day, you know. And when I was a kid, my parents had a little bit of money, and so I went to a fucking shrink. I went the whole time I was a kid, right? It helped. I like talking, you know. So that's what I was going to do. I was going to go to school to be either a psychiatrist or a psychologist, and like talk to kids and maybe kids with like drug problem, whatever it might be. But I was just, man, I would take that work home with me. Like I couldn't do that shit after a while. You know what I mean? I'm just a little too feely. And so as I'm like applying to school, I got pretty good SAT scores. You know, I'm applying to schools. I wanted to go to Kutztown because they had a really good psychology program. You know, my dad, who's again super talented, always wanted to be a musician, was like, well, you know, you're kind of fucking good at that. Like, why don't you just like do some research and see?
So you had a parent actually encourage you to
100. My parents are my biggest fans, dude. I played in a band with my dad. You know what I mean? Like, dude,
that's great.
He's my biggest fan in the whole world. As is my mom too, you know, and so they absolutely encouraged me to come to Los Angeles and go to MI, which I was not. After I went to MI for a little bit, I was not into it. It was again just another school. It just wasn't for me. Lots of the cats there, you know, you get trained there to be a teacher. Like after because I could shred the guitar when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, bro. Just like anything I wanted to play. I've gotten away from that a little bit, man, because I just met a bunch of other dudes that could do that better.
Well, right. So you found your niche as what, a songwriter?
That's really what I wanted to. You know, it took me a little while, but that's what I found I wanted to do, man. I wanted to be Paul McCartney or Michael Jackson.
And you found your niche somehow in heavier genres than you would have been used to. So you were here.
Yeah.
Did you come here and immediately go to MI? Did you spend some time here before you went to MI?
No, I immediately went to MI. And I pretty much tried to immediately start a band. There was a situation where like this band wanted me to be a part of it. It's one of my super good friends now, and like I didn't get along with the manager. I told him to fuck himself, and he nixed me from the project. So
hey, they had a manager.
They did, man. They were doing well for themselves, and they've since not. It's not. Doesn't matter. My point being, so after that, I started my band, Panic in Eden. Panic in Eden. Yeah. Panic in Eden. That's hard for me to say.
Panic
for whatever reason. I know.
Panic in Eden.
It just becomes one.
Panic in Eden.
I should have said it drunk before I said it sober, but I didn't.
All right, so you do Panic in Eden
for like 6, 7, 8 years, 9. Yeah.
Will's in that, right?
Will comes into that picture probably 6 months into it. We have some songs that we're getting ready to record. Good stuff, man. It's not heavy stuff. That's what I'm saying. So the heavy thing came recently. So like that's more classic rock. Like it's classic rock. Song wise, like playing wise, I'm doing like slashy guitar shit. You know what I mean? Like it's not. It's probably at the time I loved it, and it's recordings of my music, and it's never gonna go away, and it's great. But like it's not super relevant today or probably when we recorded it. So cool songs, you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying anything. Like it was great when we did it, and I'm proud of it. But
okay, so
I was 20 or 21.
You spent so much time on that project. Yeah. To have it not be a project anymore. What's that experience like? Man,
fucking soul crushing, dude. It's like an 8-year relationship with a person, that's hard, but it's like an 8-year relationship with like an entity, art, something that you willed into existence. You know what I mean? I
had a buddy once who, or a guy that I met.
We played a big fest, like we did some cool shit.
Right. You did all these things, man. Yeah. I had this dude I met through a friend. He's like, yeah, I'm a bassist, whatever. I'm like, oh, cool, man. Do you play in bands? And he's like, nah, I got really tired of being married to 4 other dudes. I'm like, fucking A,
Man, and like it's tough, and there was probably I think the count of people in Panic in Eden revolving around me and Will was like 30. There was like 30 people throughout that 8-year process that had been in the band at some point. So it was it was a lot. It was
How'd you go from there to Karma Vulture?
So, basically, some of the dudes in Panic in Eden just kind of quit or stopped showing up, or effectively quit.
We take that as a de facto resignation.
And you don't show up for a month. You know what I mean? Like,
all right, he's probably done.
Alex had stuff. Alex is an odd guy. I love the guy to death, but he's a fucking odd guy, man. Talented guy, but just he's had an interesting life, and will continue to, I'm sure. Same thing with Pierce, man. Pierce is an odd guy, and it just I'm not going to go into gory details because I don't really have anything. I have nothing real bad to say about either of them. But yeah, they removed themselves from the situation pretty aggressively. And like me, Will, and Nick were like...
What does that mean, pretty aggressively?
I mean, just through... Just pretty obviously not wanting to be a part of it anymore. Like...
Wait, so they didn't make it clear that they wanted to stop, or what?
No, but like there was people in the band that were on drugs in the studio when they're supposed to be like nailing some recordings we're paying a lot of money for, and instead they're too high to do it.
Ain't that the fucking story of every rock band in LA?
Man, and it's like... so that happened, and then like they stopped showing up, and the other guy was just a diva and didn't really have a place to be, and like, man, and just look, we've just been playing together for 3 years, and like it probably didn't go the way everybody wanted to go to go, and they were sick of it, and probably sick of putting up with our shit because we're pretty demanding, and me and Will, like, dude, like we take this real seriously.
Well, what's really funny though is like I know the way I work. I'm a pretty easy dude to work with in most capacities, but when it comes to, like, there's a whole new element introduced when you're, like, the intensity of staking your life on art is something that can't be replicated, and it can't bring out the same attitudes that anything else can, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's
hold on, I got a perfect way to put this, and you're gonna love this. I can't believe you've not heard me say this yet. I've said this to a bunch of people that were like, "Where'd you get that?" I'm like, "Up here, motherfucker."
Fucking. This cat is going goddamn nuts.
There's 2 kinds of musicians, and you've maybe have experienced this. Hopefully, you've not. But there's 2 kinds of musicians, right? There's fucking tourists, people who like, man, maybe they're pretty dedicated. Maybe they've really put in some time and effort.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And they're good even. Let's say they're real good. That's when it's the most frustrating. But like when it comes down to like you're saying, staking their fucking, putting all the eggs in one basket, they're scared. They're not willing to do it. There's too many problems that they have in their life, whatever it may be, and so they wash out of it. Maybe they're around for a while.
Yeah,
that's a tourist, man. It's somebody that it looked really fun to them. Maybe they even got some talent, so they didn't get weeded out of that process of having no talent.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then they got, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, this sucks. You know, like this isn't what I wanted. And then there's cats like us, right?
Oh my God, was this like work or something?
Then there's cats like us where, dude, like if I don't do this shit, I'm gonna spontaneously combust.
Yeah.
I don't know what form, like whether that's interior, like inwardly, and I'm just gonna be destructive, or outwardly, you know. But like this is what I was put here to do. This is what I'm good at.
Yeah.
You know,
when I was younger and started writing songs, I had someone ask me like, why do you do that? And I'm like, because I have to. I don't know. Like
my ex-girlfriend that went to Juilliard for the violin.
Yeah.
Right? Graduated, which fucking nobody does. Nobody, man. Not even the people that like, because you have to re-audition to get in every year.
Yeah.
Like the guy who she did her final exam for is like a living violin legend. I forget his name because I'm a stoner, but speaking of, but he's like a living violin legend, dude. It's like, dude, it's like playing for like, I don't know, pick somebody, dude. You know, pick your, so, and she toured the world when she was like 12 playing violin. Like she's real. And she one time asked me like, why do you write your own original music? I'm like, what the fuck kind of question is that? Like, what do you even mean you're a musician? Like, what kind of question is that? Like, okay. I have to. It's in my soul.
Okay, so Karma Vulture forms how and why? No, I'll just ask that.
So, like I said, Paganine is dissolving slowly, probably more so than we realize. Right? We made a record that we're very proud of. It was a picture of our lives at that point. There were some cool songs on there, a lot of which I wrote, you know, and Will wrote a lot of the music and stuff, you know, like, man, it was, but, so we made a record, we're getting it promoted, blah, blah, and these dudes effectively are just like, they flake out, you know, and me, Will, and Nick are like, well, we're going to stop playing, and there was a bass there, you know. And
how long ago was this?
This was, man, probably almost 2 years ago.
Okay.
I can find a date. I can't use my phone right now, but I can find a date for you.
You can't find a date right now.
Not right now, but it was maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago.
We'll
right?
put the exact date in the description.
Probably 6 months before we like really met you guys, or 8 months before we really met you guys.
When did we meet you? I think. Okay, it was the lot one.
Me and.
But you guys met before at the.
Me and Will met Josh at the Troubadour.
Knits show?
At the Knits show at the Troubadour. And we know the Knits because they rehearse in the room, couple of rooms down from us. Huh. So we're going to see them at the Troub, and Josh asked Will for a cigarette because me and Will were talking about basketball.
And Josh can't shut his goddamn mouth.
Yeah. Luckily for us, because our lives have. Man, I don't even know if we'd still be in LA. Because, like, man, I feel a little bit trapped by this place. I love it. It's my home.
I don't think there's any way to not feel trapped by this place.
You know, but I don't know, like, but I can't just ditch, like, good things are finally starting to happen.
Yeah.
And we have a cool scene and cool people and supportive people, and just you know, it would be foolish for me to bail now.
Okay, so here's where I'm really, because you've been in LA how long?
10 years now. 10 years.
10 years, and you're from...
Excuse me. Yeah. 10 years on August 15th.
Okay, so about 10 years, and you're from Philly.
Philadelphia, yeah, right outside of Philly. A place called Havertown.
I've been here almost 5 years. I'm from Detroit. Mm-hmm. I figured that when we got here, I was really lucky to work with Josh, and I'm still really lucky to work with him.
So Will's become my unintentional life partner, dude.
Yeah. You know what is it? What is it that Jay and Silent Bob say? The heterosexual life mate.
Yeah. I mean, dude, and that's Will for me, dude. Like,
and it's true.
You know, our boss asked me and Will, like, "Hey, Connor, do you think that?"
So what's up with you guys?
No. She was like, "Do you think that you see Will more often than his wife?" And I was like, "Yo." Most weeks, I'm sure that I do.
Absolutely, I do.
We work together. We fucking play music. Like, yeah.
So you got Will, I got Josh. You can, but okay, so at a certain point, Karma Vulture forms. There's a reason, though.
Because we didn't want to stop playing, dude. And there was a bass, and like
I've also though you said earlier
towards the end of Pagan Eden, I started to like sing and like write a lot of the songs.
Oh, you didn't really do that before.
No, it was not something I really did. It was something I've been messing around with for a while, but I didn't really know how. I argue that life experience.
That somewhat pisses me off because I did that for a while before I got good at it, and apparently you're telling me you just jumped in 2 years ago towards the end of Panic in Eden.
It was more like 5 years ago that I started.
And you're
really.
like, oh, okay, I'm a good songwriter now. Here we go.
Man, look, like a lot of things, my girlfriend gets mad at me about this, man. Because she's like, you're just good at everything. I'm like, well, that's not really true. But what is true?
Why would your girlfriend get angry at you about that?
Not get mad.
You should be so lucky, babe.
No,
Rock and roll. Not running with the devil.
Not get mad at me, but just like.
I get it.
Yeah, and I'm like, look, here's the thing. It's not that I'm like good at stuff. I'm just smart and I can figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, for better or worse. It's not something that I chose, but it is something that is true for the most part. I mean, I have my fucking moments of being a dummy, certainly, but I can usually figure things out.
So I've heard from you, Will, Javier from Westerner, Greg from Greg and Good Company, Kev from Mechanical Roots. I've heard from a lot of different people, not just them. That, not to toot my own horn,
sure,
but what The Absurd has been doing via, sort of cultivating a scene in Los Angeles or whatever, which was intentional, but was also like...
Has never happened in my experience.
It was just necessity, though, because nothing else is happening.
Well, man, we tried to kind of do this.
But I've heard that is something special, and I've noticed that people have told me, like, look, this is awesome. Like, I finally feel like I'm a part of something or whatever. And I wonder where you think that scene is. How is that different from when you got to LA? I don't know what it was like.
I'll tell you exactly how, man. Bands,
you got here in 2009?
Yes, sir. August 2009. Okay. So bands didn't want to play ball, man. Huh. The problem was like it was too much still reliant on a dying model, which was the major record label. That was still around just enough that like it was too cutthroat. Everybody was like, nah, if I fucking help you, then I'm not helping myself get a record deal. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of bands that still exist like that, man.
Man, and that's really sad, man. And I think we know a bunch of those bands. Yeah, it's like it sucks because like, dude, and when it comes, me and Will get really upset when we get treated a certain kind of way.
Yeah.
Because like when it comes down to it, man, we genuinely try and be kind.
I respect that a lot about you guys. You guys, like, when you're right to be angry, you express it.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Well, because
most bands don't.
Man, I think that, like, look, we genuinely try and treat everyone with respect and kindness that we expect from everyone else. And like when you treat people consistently like that, and then you want to be painted with a certain brush, it's a little frustrating, man, because it's like, yo, like, it's funny. I mean, the same thing happens to you. A lot of these people, anyway, that's a whole different conversation. But my point is, like,
what was it?
A lot of this shit stems from like some weird politics thing that people just don't get. We've gotten people don't like us.
Well, so here's an interesting question.
With you guys, and like, you guys are sweet as well. And it's like no one takes the fucking time to figure it out.
Thank you. I mean, to a certain degree, we rely on them not taking the time. You know what I mean?
Sure.
A certain amount of that outrage is necessary to sort of get into the position where people want to listen to you, and we're 40 minutes in, so no one's going to hear this anyway, so I won't give away the secret.
Yeah.
But I do, actually, just as a personal curiosity, a bit selfishly, I wonder, do you guys feel like you've gotten any negative blowback from associating yourself with us?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah?
And pretty consistently from certain people, and it's like, we take a very
drop the
view of that. Nah, I'm not. It doesn't matter.
Oh, come on, who is it?
It does. You know who it is.
Is it the Gooms?
No, well, they're part of it, sure.
The damn Gooms.
They're part of it, but it's just like, it's a whole crew of people that like feel a certain way about a bunch of stuff, and that's cool, man. It's cool. I don't care what you
play like a girl crowd or what.
Man,
were you guys like in with? Oh, you were kind of in with the.
With everybody in there, man. They were my friends, and they've straight up just ignored me for no reason.
Since you started talking to us, like kind of associating yourself with us?
Well, maybe more that they figured out that we're friends,
But they did it before, or?
No, we were cool before.
Okay, so because of us. So, I'm interested to get your perspective, because you're somebody who
knows you guys pretty well.
Not only that, but you're not. Even like me, I actually pay a lot of it. You don't really give much of a damn. You tend to be a super nice dude.
Yeah.
One of the nicest dudes.
I try. I feel like...
and you're talented. So
thank you.
What the hell's you're affiliating with a band who has been labeled by nobodies as something that they're not? Like, I'm interested in what your take is,
My take is just... Look, I think it's blind hypocrisy, really, when it comes down to it, not taking the time to figure out people for who they are when that's what you're upset about in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just it bums me out more than anything. Like, it doesn't really make me mad. It's just like I don't really get it, and I don't need to.
Yeah.
I don't need to. Like, I genuinely, try and accept everybody for who they are,
So,
and like to then be not for that not to be reciprocated.
No, it sucks, man. It hurts, dude. I mean, like the Absurd has been through it.
Oh yeah,
and that's part of the reason for us.
You guys are provocateurs, though.
Absolutely, but it's always been. You know what? It's not like when people are like, "Oh, you're." I'm not saying you're saying this. I'm saying.
No, yeah, sure. The general
criticize are like
general you.
They're just provocateurs. It's like yes, but not by design,
and not for the sake of it.
Exactly.
No, bro, I get it.
Literally, dude, mine and Josh's personalities are just provocative.
Yeah,
and we cannot help it.
I love it. It's my favorite thing about you guys, right? It's just like, dude, and I know. See, again, I know you guys. Like, dude, Josh has said things to me that are overtly offensive. That were not to be taken that way. Like, one of my friends, the guy I worked with, passed away, and Josh was telling the story, and Josh was kind of like, "Well, what do you think was going to happen?" And I'm like, Josh, man, okay, dude. I mean, look, I get that that's the case, but here's the thing, man. This was still a friend of mine. This is someone I cared about. So, like, you didn't have to say that. You know what I mean? And he comes up to me like an hour later and is like, "Hey, man, I'm really sorry. You're right. I didn't mean it that way." I'm like, Josh, I know you didn't mean it that way, but like, dude, other people don't know that.
And at the time, Josh has he has a central nervous system reaction where he's. Don't say sorry, just, yep, that's what I meant.
But, no, I know, dude, bro, I get it. I love Josh.
So
he's one of my favorite people, but like, I think people don't get that about you guys sometimes. You just say shit.
They don't, but dude, we were at the Satellite.
Yeah.
Playing Ned in the Dirt's last show as Ned in the Dirt.
I was there.
You were there.
I was there.
You should have been playing there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we agreed, but like, hey, man, here's the thing, like, because we were pretty bummed out about not getting on the guys' residency at all. But
all right.
At the same token, bro, like, we were a couple of fuck ups. You know what I mean? That's how we conducted ourselves. Man, unfortunately, that's the case. Like, and that's how we conducted ourselves.
You guys have no.
So
I don't want to set up that kind of, but I understand what you're saying. But,
yeah, so to me, it's like I get it a little bit, like, dude, we did play your album release show, and man, I was wasted while I was on stage, and I said I wasn't gonna do that shit, and I did.
Still good though.
Yeah, we brought like 12 people, which wasn't great because
that was the issue.
Yeah, man, because we were fuck ups, dude. That's my point.
Okay.
It's not like you're.
I got you.
It's not like this is me saying this, and
right.
This gets back to the point of like. You've seen us come a long way, right?
Yes.
In a fairly short period of time.
No, a remarkably short period of time.
Because we just decided that, like, it was, me and Willie aren't 22 anymore. I'm 29.
Right.
We'll just turn 30. Our birthdays are 366 days apart. He's a little older than me.
You're going to die, like, tomorrow. You better do something good today.
That's what I'm saying, dude. And so, like, that was hard earned on our part. I don't really want to go into why at this particular juncture, but it was hard earned on our part.
Oh, okay. What I was saying.
Yeah.
But when we were at the Satellite, Cass had just started playing in Ned and Dirt's band.
Yeah.
And she showed up, and they just got back from tour, and they were doing their last show as Ned and Dirt at the Satellite with us. Okay, cool. And so we start setting up, blah, blah, blah. And Josh comes in and is loudly to Ned.
Because he's had 4 Manhattans, dude.
He likes to play that up. He drinks way less than I do.
I've seen him drink. He doesn't drink a lot. But I mean, like, there are times I see Josh, I'm like, you are drunk.
He gets drunk off a half a drink, dude. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, and I'll have 3 Manhattans.
Put a placebo in the damn thing. No, he doesn't. That's the... Yeah, he does overstep his limits, but yeah. But But it's like he was telling Ned loudly. There was no one else in the bar. We're setting up like our decorations and whatnot. And he's just like, yo, Cass either needs to like get sexier or like, dyke it up a bit.
I know. I heard about that, man. And me and Will are just like, oh, geez, man, of course Josh said that. You know what I mean? Like,
but I'm like, yo, Ned is they're one of our oldest homies.
Yeah, dude.
Man, you guys got to give us the benefit of the doubt. I'm sorry.
Look, I agree with you. And
bro, come on.
And Josh,
are you serious?
And even okay. In their defense,
Josh said sorry and whatnot.
And he should say sorry. But look, and even if he feels that way, like, you don't have to say it, man. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to say it.
Thing is, though, I'll defend him here. I get what he's saying. What he's saying is either you need to commit to like
A or B.
I'm the sexy chick, or I'm one of the dudes. Like it's something along those lines. And in rock music, image matters.
Yeah,
it matters a lot.
And I agree with you 100%. How many times do you see me take my fucking shirt off on stage?
14.
Far too many.
Out of the 15 shows I've seen you at, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. So man, look, I get it, and like granted, a couple years ago, if I walked in.
How did you guys get? How did Karma Vulture get involved with the West Side Revival scene?
That is a very good question. From meeting you guys, really.
I'm full of them.
Yeah. So from meeting you guys, really. I mean, like, okay, so we met Josh. We played a lot one. I think we explained that we were shit-faced. Josh still thought we were cool. I don't know why.
You guys are.
Well, I mean, as people, yes, we are, but we didn't play very cool that night.
Okay, whatever.
You understand what I'm saying? So, and like again, now you kind of are seeing us like reach the potential. I mean, this is always what I strive for. But my point is,
yes.
Okay, West Side Revival. We played a lot one with you guys on 420. I don't remember when the West Side Revival show was. Also, I was shit faced there as well. The West Side so we played the Townhouse. Actually, it's funny you say Ned in the Dirt. We played the Townhouse with Ned in the Dirt, Little Galaxies, you guys, Hey Rocco, and us.
That was a good night.
Yeah, it was a good night. But
I don't remember anything about it.
Okay. So
those Townhouse shows were rowdy.
Dude, okay, so me and it was rowdy, and that's a whole other story. But me and Will get to the Townhouse, and Venice at night is just like it's Venice at night. You know what I mean?
Easy.
Yeah, dude. So we were like, we got down there. There's no one running this show. We can't find anybody to check in with. We don't fucking know anybody. We're just like, oh fuck, time to get drunk. You know what I mean? Like we can't find Aaron. We can't we found you guys. I think like we don't know. No, you guys weren't playing. You were just there. I think you're how.
I was gonna say I don't remember being on that bill.
No, I think that's how we got booked. Is because I just remember seeing you and seeing Jess maybe.
Yeah.
Or seeing, I forget. Anyway, but
we were there.
Yeah, and that's when I met Josh Martinez that night too.
I love recounting these. Well, it was after 2 lines and let's see, a dozen drinks.
Well, that's the problem.
I think you guys were there. Were you playing?
Well,
you're in a band, right?
Okay. And like I was like, again, I'm struggling with like trying not to drink too much at this point. And I said to myself at this show that I wasn't going to drink too much either.
How long ago was this?
Dude, again, so this was a year ago. I'm going to say right about a year ago, maybe a little.
What's it right now? July.
Yeah. So no, it's got to be longer than that, is it?
It's July now.
Okay, so it's got to be a year and a half ago. At this point. Yeah, a year or a year, like right after the 420 show, right?
Year and a half sounds right.
We played the Townhouse. Yeah. We were playing the Townhouse, right? So me and Will get there, and we're like, "How's this gonna go?" And it ended up being one of our best shows as a band because people were fucking into it. Because we're playing late because it's the early West Side Revival, so it's like really late.
Right.
We're just like, fuck, man, is there anybody? We get out there and the fucking people there, they're ready to see us, they're nuts, and like we played pretty decently, I think. But I was like drunk enough that I'm like, oh shit, the small amount of blow that I've just done is wearing off drunk.
Oh,
and I didn't have any more. I thought I was gonna, cause it's going late, so like all of a sudden I'm like, shit, I thought I was gonna be on stage at this point. So.
Oh, if I had a dime for every time I've had that experience playing music, man, I thought I timed this one out better.
So
5 minutes before you get up, you're just like, oh man, where's that guy?
I was drunk.
Yeah.
And I think I was fucking drunk, dude. And I remember about half of that show, but everybody was like, man, you guys are great, blah blah. Which man, it's kind of fun anymore. I don't want to like say certain bands, but there's like certain people around in the scene that like. It's kind of adorable. Like look up to us a little bit. It's nice. Real funny, dude.
Well, you guys deserve it though. So you got into when I saw you guys first do like the West Side Revival stuff, I was like, all right, they like. I wasn't like blown away, but I was like, there's a fucking sweet thing waiting to happen, is what I thought.
Keep in mind at this point, Ben, I've been the lead singer in a band never before.
No, I'm not even saying.
I haven't played.
Oh, you did grow into your own too.
But, yeah, that's what I'm saying. At this point that you saw us, like I never.
The progress you guys have made has been very rapid, and like at that point, I was like, okay, there's a band that can grow into something. That's like in my opinion, not what I think of most bands.
Sure.
And then you guys did it, and now the West Side Revival scene is you're probably one of the top bands in it if you want to bother to do the ranking.
Sure, yeah. Which it's not. I mean,
it's lame.
It's music. It's art, right?
So, what do you see as the kind of role of West Side Revival in the Los Angeles scene? What do you as an artist want to contribute to and get out of it?
So let's start with, there's an aspect of it that we've just never experienced before, that we touched on a little bit with you guys bringing a scene together. I mean, that's hard to do, and you needed a couple bands to play ball. So it was like a little bit of like just this, like most things that work are. It's just this nice, serendipitous collection of souls that happened to get along at that point in time, and see, we needed a band to play ball because we've been looking like there were other bands that we loved and like. They were kind of it, and then not really.
They'd flake or whatever.
Yeah, whatever, man, whatever, and so so that was frustrating for us, and like again, like I said, so without West Side Revival, getting back to that, thank you. I would love some, but for
your band's doing well. I won't let you have it.
Yeah, so the role for me is like, man, it's given us for really the first time, like a growing audience. That we didn't have with Bank and Eden. I mean, we did some pretty cool stuff. We just didn't know what the fuck we were doing, dude.
Yeah.
So we needed somewhere for music to take root a little bit.
Yeah.
For a couple people to notice that, a couple more people to notice. And I feel like West Side's helped us do that.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. And like, man, as far as getting out of it, man, it's kept me in LA. And
well, it's not even getting out of it or anything like that. Okay, so what I'll say is like for us, early on, a strategy was. We knew that we weren't going to get big draws. We just weren't going to do it. In LA, people are super jaded. You got to be part of some. Blah, blah, blah. We're not. We'd have zero connections.
Absolutely.
We're not from here, and no one likes us. And we're like saying things that are controversial and blah blah blah. So like, okay, so how do we do it? Well, if we're not going to get any draw, and thus we're not going to get paid from a bar anyway, but we still want to try to angle ourselves to be able to do that.
Sure, yeah.
It's like, okay, so what we decided is, since no other bands are asking us to play with them, which they really weren't.
Which they really weren't for us either, bro. You know?
We booked our own shows.
Yeah.
And through booking our own shows, we decided that, okay, well, at least in the beginning, when all of this is building, it's like, it's not about the draw or anything like that. It's about, I've had so many people show up to those kinds of shows and be like, dude, I know it wasn't like packed or anything, but like, this was like one of my favorite local shows I've seen in a long time.
Because you guys bring the fucking heat, man.
It's a big thing though. It's not about us or anything. It's just like, dude, so many bands right now, and like, dude, that's why I'm so fucking heated up on this idea of like, what do you think about the idea that like something's gonna break soon? Like,
yeah, man. Look, I think it has to. I think maybe it's gonna take longer than is convenient or than we'd like it to take. But I mean, I think like, look, what we're proving now, a lot of it is work that you guys have done.
Yeah.
But what we're as a collective, if I may, proving is that like, man, you can be, but I've seen the scene grow since I've been a part of it.
Right.
There's still 5 people that were there at the Townhouse show, except now it's the same 40 people or the same 50 people or the same 100 people, whatever it is, man. You know what I mean? Like, and I think in a year, maybe that'll be 500, 1,000 people, and people will fucking have to notice.
Well, in
and
that
they
case,
will.
People would absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
Notice. Yeah.
I have to take a leak so bad, dude.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll sit here and look at the camera for a second.
Sit here and look at the camera. Say
Just
some fun shit.
don't step on the cords and.
Ben, where's the closest bathroom? This way?
Well, you just go through that door, leave it open so the cat can get out.
Oh yeah, come on, cat.
And all right, ladies and gentlemen, this is an intermission with the absurd. We're just gonna go on ahead and have a glass of whiskey and kind of sit back and have a good time. I'm like, what the hell? This guy's got an enlarged prostate or something. Jesus Christ.
But I have drank about 5 glasses of water.
Pissing for all of 12 seconds. Yeah, you did drink that whole decanter?
Yes, I did. Yeah. And 2 or 3 more before that. So, anyway.
What were we talking about before that? Something about the... West Side Revival.
Yeah.
So, West Side Revival. Give me your opinions on it. I mean, what do you...
Man, well, for one,
West Side Revival.
It is.
Come on.
A quintessential cast of fucking characters, dude. You know what I mean? Like, it cracks me up thinking about it. Like, dude, okay, Eddie. I mean, there's enough said there. You know what I mean? Like, Eddie's a fucking. Aaron's a fucking character. He's the sweetest. Like, the amount of like time and effort that guy really, and like more than anything, love, but also money, which is like paper love.
Yeah.
You know. That guy puts into this for really no just the joy of doing it is really crazy, so I think that in and of itself is special. We're like that's not really Josh's thing, you know what I mean? Like, it is, and he does love it, you know what I mean? But like, dude, Josh is like the guy that like makes shit happen, because Aaron's like myself in a lot of ways. Like earlier I said, like, okay, I'm smart so I can figure things out. Now I'm also like a real crazy person. So, like, I'm not good at plenty of other things, like having my life together. In certain ways, yes. I have.
You're an artist. Come on.
But I'm a fucking mess, and Aaron's a fucking mess. but he's like a mess, like anyone who's creative and sweet and loving like him is. You know what I mean? Like, he's, as much as he doesn't, and he will aggressively not take credit for anything. So I try and always give him credit just to shake him up.
I tried for a while, and I was like, dude, all right, you got to take some credit at this point. I'm like, why aren't you taking credit?
Look, I get it. I get what he's getting at.
It's weird.
The thing is, man, he doesn't. Everybody knows. So I'm not gonna get at that. Like,
yeah,
for him.
No.
Everybody knows, you know what I mean? It's like he doesn't really need to take credit, and like he doesn't want to feel like he's like, man, you guys are making the music. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but you're giving us a platform to perform for people.
When lots of other fucking people wouldn't, or the platform they would give us, man, was actively bending us over, dude.
Just take some fucking credit for that.
Well, okay,
that's a good thing.
That's the other thing in West Side Revival, dude.
That's a great thing.
Look, other promoters who I will not name because I don't need to. Even though a lot of them are sweet people, man, are whether they want to look at it this way, man, are there to rip you off.
Yeah.
And Aaron's not in it for that, dude.
Right.
He's in it because he sees a void that needs to be filled, and he seemed like it should. If it is to be, it's up to me. It seemed like he did that. Where it's like, dude, look at people who book like, some of the venues elsewhere in the city.
I did. You know what? I'm like, look. I love the West Side Revival thing. I love the scene and all of that.
Yeah.
I also want for it to produce some success stories. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? And so, like, one of the first times I talked to Aaron, it was one of the first West Side Revivals.
Sure.
And he was like, from an artist's perspective, what do you want to see? And I said, I want to see it increase my audience and move me in a direction towards money.
Yeah.
And he said, money's not really what it's about. And I was like, I understand
Granted, sure.
But, and it was actually a weird kind of butting of heads, because it's like, look, I understand that money is not what it's about, but at the same time, the reason that people get into the game is because there's a chance of existing based on income that comes from music.
Man, look, it's one
so what do you think about that? Like, do you think that'll ever open up again?
Man, look, I hope so, because my argument a lot of times, and call me arrogant, I don't really give a shit, but my argument a lot of times is that a lot of these really great musicians that we still fucking hear nonstop on like regular radio today, that's all those people had to do. I have to fucking work as much as possible to try and survive in Los Angeles.
Right.
You know what I mean? On top of then trying to make my art, which you know, like, look, if you want to do something, you'll find a way to do it, and I feel like I do, and I devote time and energy to it. But like outside of the time that I do devote to it, the days I do devote to it, I don't get to do a lot of it. And if I do, it's interrupted by having to go do some other shit that I have to do to survive. You know, whereas
Every
like.
other hour.
You know, like, look at the Beatles, dude. Since they were children, that's all they had to do was play music.
Right.
Some people don't like the Beatles. I fucking love the Beatles. I think they're...
So, on the one hand, I think that personal experience can make your art more interesting.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
On the other hand, I think that
thing.
lack of ability to hone your craft can make your craft less interesting. How do you feel about that?
Well, man, and that's why, like, you see my band maybe not put things out as often as, like, your band. You guys, I don't know how you guys do it, bro. Like, it blows my mind because to
I
me...
keep Josh and Colin on shackles in my cellar.
I mean, I've seen you do it, and, like, I've watched you write the song. I just mean, like, man, again, for us, like, we just approach it a little bit differently. Like, man, and I'm not saying you guys don't do this because clearly listen to the fucking songs, but, like, maybe to a fault in our case. We fucking fine-tooth comb and shit. We try every fucking possibility that we can think of, and that's where we get the songs. Now, you might listen to our songs and go like, "Man, we need to try harder," you know, or whatever. But I mean, that's what we come up with.
You call that fine tuning? Come on.
That's what I'm saying, man. And you know, look, everybody's different. But my point is, you know, like, we don't put stuff out as fast because, like, I feel like we still do want to be able to devote that amount of time that those great people had to, like, you know, we're just doing it over a longer period of time because we don't have the immediate, like, well, it's Tuesday.
How often do you guys, as a working band in Los Angeles, how often do you guys practice?
We get together every single Monday, Tuesday. We leave all day open.
How long? How long?
How long
are you usually there for?
We generally get together from about 2 until like 8 or 9.
That's a long goddamn time.
That's what everybody says. I mean,
Jesus
dude, there's
Christ.
some dicking around there. I mean, we get to rehearsal.
I tell people we rehearse twice a week, and people are like, "Oh my god."
Man, some of the sessions are a little shorter, depending on what life is dictating at the time.
2 to 9, that's 7 hours. That's like a full day of work.
Or yeah, man. No, well, that's my point. Is like we try and put in, like, you know, like a full day.
Do you
of work.
think it's more productive to do that versus like 3 days a week of 4 hours?
I'm really anal, dude. I want to have the time to, like when we were with Jasmine. She's like, "Should we do that one again?" I'm like, "I'm always gonna say yes."
Well, I'm also like,
I'm never fucking happy.
When we were with Jasmine, I was just like, "Yo, I'm here for you to tell me what to do." Like, I'm not.
She doesn't. I don't think she knows. Not in a bad way.
Are you ever okay? I was actually. Here's another thing I was talking to Will about earlier. I had my mind blown when she's like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "Hit the drums. You just start playing something, and we'll do it." But she didn't, and I think this might be a good thing for her music. She didn't have that, like, and it's good if you're testing new people out. It's like you can't demand anything.
No, man.
But when you're in a band, like, dude, I've subbed in for a lot of bands where it's just like, all right, let's have you play, and like I play it, and then after one take, they're like, man, that's awesome. You're a great drummer, and it's like,
that was shite, and I want to do.
Well, thanks, but I want
30 more times.
No, I want to know what you want.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't, and I feel like a lot of band leaders are really reluctant to just be like I'm for sure kind of, I'm like harsh in my band.
Well, dude, and it's not that I'm not. Look, my argument, I look at this way, this particular thing. For someone like, let's say for the sake of argument, you came to play drums for us.
Yeah.
Like, yo, we have songs that need to be those songs, but also, I have you here because you're you and you're good.
Well, I obviously couldn't play them because
for me
they're difficult.
Well,
and they have a lot of transitions.
Fuck you. That's not all what I said. I just mean, like, you know, there's like
inside jokes, ladies and gentlemen.
There's like little shit that's just like not just like
I'm well aware of it. Yeah.
Not to show up and play. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like some people you can just show up and play.
There's stuff that I could get in my sleep.
Yes, I've been. Yeah, okay. Sorry. All right. I'm totally. I deserve that.
No, you don't. I'm joking. Yeah.
You know, but it's just like
I gave it to you anyway, though.
But I have you there. I have you there, like, because you're good at something, and I want that to shine through as well.
Right.
Like, yo, these are kind of the parts. Like, yo, this is how this part needs to feel, or whatever. Yeah. Or like, but also like, it's like when you ask someone for their opinion, and then you listen and tell them they're fucking wrong.
Yes.
It's like, man, I'm paying you for your opinion, and now I'm going to tell you that you're wrong. Like, look, I'm not saying just acquiesce to whatever anyone wants to do. That's not, you're good at something. Be good at it. You know, stick up for yourself.
If you're the person directing or paying someone else, though, you have every right to just be like, look, do it a little more like this. I'm not telling you how to play. I'm just saying, try to meet me halfway. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
man, I'm professional too. Like, when I show up, I'm the same way. I'm like, yo, what do you want?
I mean, in a case like my band, it's just like,
my band, not The Absurd, but my band.
Right, my band, literally my band.
@_my band on Instagram.
At my band. I didn't have any idea what I was doing. Of course, I was contacted that day while I was at the bar for happy hour, and she's like, do you want to come do stuff? I'm like, LOL, yeah.
I never heard any of it either, man. I just came to have some fun playing guitar and like...
Yeah, but I'm seriously, I heard 2 half songs, and I was like, that sounds halfway decent, and also I've had like 5 different people be like, no, they're actually good, because I asked whoever was there, you know, who I knew, and everybody said they were good. So I was like, all right.
Just a little unpolished, but I mean, dude, okay, Jasmine's 22.
Unpolished for sure.
Learning to play guitar.
But okay, so here's where I get into my main point is...
But she's talented. She's a good, I think she's a good
for
songer,
sure,
you know?
For sure. But unpolished, you need somebody, okay, how hard, because are you the songwriter of Karma Vulture, or the...
Yes, okay. I mean, on paper, as far as the
that?
classic music business went, I would be the sole songwriter. Now, I think that's horseshit, because Will writes as much of, like, the musical parts of this shit as I do.
How's that?
And even, well, like, a lot of times, man, Will just has a knack for coming up with riffs, you know what I mean? Whereas,
he's good.
Yeah, whereas, like, I'm more, I just thought my brain doesn't always work that way. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to describe. Like, I call them riffs, too, but just with what we're doing... Will just has a knack for it. You know what I mean? That's part of where the heaviness comes from, too. He enjoys it. Not that I don't. I'm losing my train of thought.
I never lost mine. But I asked, how did something?
Yeah.
And why don't you remember what I asked? It'd be much easier if you did.
How did something? Okay. My band. Oh, no, you're telling me it's always surprising when people are... Like,
you know what I actually asked? By the way, this is like the best part of the podcast, because it's just like, dude, this is what real life music writing is like. You have an idea that's like several sections ahead of what you can write, literally, or record, and then you get there and you're like, fuck, I forgot that. Always. Right, now I gotta remember. And then you get to the next section and you're like...
Bro, Will is so good at that. He never forgets shit, dude. My memory is so good, and music goes in and the fuck out of it, dude.
That's an amazing skill.
I can remember what people ordered at the restaurant 3 weeks ago, but I cannot remember.
That dude gets high, too, man. I'm like, how the fuck do you remember all this shit?
Me?
Well, you do, for sure. Will gets high, man. Like, I'm amazed that he can remember all that shit.
Yeah, well, musically, yeah. Man, I'm amazed, too, because, like, man, I always count on him to remember this shit when we write stuff. Because
Because it ain't gonna happen on your end.
No, it is not. You know, anything that I want to remember, I record.
Oh yeah, okay, so there's a fine line between being a sort of dictator versus being totally sort of submissive and just letting the musicians you're with do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
You have to meet those two things.
Absolutely.
How do you suppose you do that?
With Karma Vulture, man, me and Will, like, there's not, and this is where our relationship is interesting. Like, music wise, man, there's just not a lot of talking. You know what I mean? Like, we do discuss a lot of stuff when we write music, but I've been playing with that dude for so long, and both of us are intuitive enough and fairly intelligent that, man, it just happens. You know what I mean? Like, I know what the fuck this guy's gonna play. He knows what I'm gonna play before we even really do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to think about it. I know. I don't ever
come You guys have been playing together how long?
Almost 10 years. 8 years, 10 years. Between that period. I mean, I think Will joined on...
Always with you on bass and him on guitar?
No, we were both playing guitar for a long time. For longer than I've been on bass.
And you were better than him for a while?
I played... Well, I mean, dude, when he first got to music school, he'd been playing guitar for a lot less period of time than I had. You know what I mean?
But he played it obsessively, apparently.
Yo, fuck yeah,
I was talking to him earlier.
Oh my god, yeah, he did, dude. Yo, and like, you know, it's funny when people on the West Side, like a crew, like, Will never seems to get mentioned as like the best guitar player around. I'm like, bro, has anyone fucking heard that guy? What he plays half the time is bananas.
He's
He's crazy good. You know what I mean?
He's
like
one of them. He's better than me.
Well, dude, it's not even about that. But I just like he never gets mentioned in that conversation. And again, to me, that's really silly. Like,
why do you think that is?
I couldn't tell you, man. Like the guy is.
Who do you think from either within West Side Revival or the
just extended scene?
Whatever. Yeah, the circle
yeah.
scene, whatever. People know this person. Who's the best guitarist? Like, or who are the top few guitarists that people like talk about? Aside from like George from Kyra Knife Fight, because like, yeah, he's really good.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Like he's so good that I don't care.
Again, dude, I've been playing with Will for too long, so maybe I've seen too much shit. But like, I've not seen anyone play like that guy. Not really.
Okay, so.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so I'll ask you this then. Excluding Will, who are the best guitarists in sort of the scene?
That's an interesting question because to me there's not a lot of like real dexterous playing in our scene or in Los Angeles or in rock music right now.
you got a mind for detail.
Yeah, I mean, dude, but that's the thing.
It's not about hard parts or easy parts.
Okay, some of the stuff you do is impressive. Some of the stuff Kev O'Brien does is impressive. You know what I mean? Like, but
see, technically, I would rank Kev O'Brien higher than me. Creatively, I would probably rank me higher.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, that's part of it too, man. If you take that into account, you're talking to a music.
Yeah,
school.
I'm talking all factors.
You're talking to a music school kid though, and so like I'm fairly one break.
But you're saying Will is that good. I'm saying who are you comparing him to?
Yeah, band. Just look like anytime I talk about our band, your band, recordings, anything I talk about, like it's not like I'm comparing them necessarily people like we know as much as just like look.
No, I don't think you are. I was just trying to put you on the spot.
Oh yeah, no, okay. we're all striving to be professionals, so like the bar is people who make money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's so to me, like man, he's as good as like
yeah.
It's a hard question, right?
Yes.
But he's as good as fucking anybody, man. You know what I mean?
Take the bait, huh? You're too nice.
No.
You're too nice, Conor Spellane.
He's
Conor Spellane.
He's good, right? Yeah, Spellane. Yeah.
Spellane. Spellane.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick.
Yeah.
Because we'll wrap it up soon.
Yeah.
Who are? Let's see. What can we do? Because we've never done this before. Name me some artists that you could not live without. Some musical artists that you couldn't live without. If you were stranded on a desert island, and they said, I don't know, 5 artists or less.
Oh, okay. I think Queen is up there. This is in no particular order because I'm not
Queen.
Yeah.
Not Queen's the Stone Age. Queen.
Well, we'll get there. Just
okay.
Yeah, Queen.
No. I was just distinguishing
the band Queen with Freddie Mercury
for our distinguished guests.
Yes, for Freddie Mercury. Dude, Freddie Mercury is just. Look, it's like when you hear like even other big singers, you hear live videos sometimes, and man, it's just it's not perfect. I'm sorry, it's not perfect, right? And someone might say, well, that's not fair. And what I say is, you ever fucking listen to Queen and go, that was a little flat? No, man. No, that guy is okay. So man, I love.
If you're listening and hearing that, I am not sure where your head's at.
Well, you think
like, Queen? These are five bands you can't live without,
sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying if you listen to Queen,
yeah.
and think, oh my God, Freddie Mercury was flat on that note.
No. I'm just saying, like, you listen to other singers live sometimes, right? And like sometimes you hear stuff that like, ooh, that was kind of off. Like even like big bands. You know what I mean?
Okay.
When do you ever sit there and go like, oh, Freddie Mercury was a little flat there? Never. It never fucking happens.
Oh, okay.
I got you.
Okay.
He's the GOAT, dude.
Okay.
I mean, you're one of them, right? Okay. So Queen, like I fucking love Queen. Brian, all of it.
The top 5 bands you couldn't live without. Queen.
One of them, not number one. One of them.
One of them.
Sure.
No need to rank the top 5.
Yeah. Queens of Stone Age is up there as well.
Okay. I give that an okay without question because it's in my top 5 as well.
Yeah. Okay. So, see, but like I'm trying to weigh like, do I weigh a catalog or like am I talking about albums?
There's no way to win this question, unfortunately.
Right. Well, I'm not saying I'm going to win, but I'm saying like for my own
might.
For my own sanity, right?
Yeah.
Like because if I say Jeff Buckley, who's one of my favorite artists, right?
But it's only got one album.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's like one album, there's a bunch of shit I don't listen to.
That one album, though.
I know. Masterclass in songwriting, man. Masterclass. Absolute
singing,
fucking masterclass.
And musicianship,
and singing.
just in general.
But most importantly, songwriting. The other stuff is very important, and that's what sets him apart. But the song.
You think his songwriting is second to his singing?
Bro, the stuff that he... Okay. Like, think about it this way.
No, as a sincere question.
No, I know, and I'll explain it quickly. Yeah. So, some of the chord... Will wasn't a big fan of Jeff Buckley until I showed him, like, some of the chords and the structure, and he's like, whoa, are you sure that's right? I'm like, yes, I'm fucking sure it's right.
Had you never heard of Jeff?
He just never really fucked with him. You know, you never really listened to him. But, so I'm showing him his chord progressions. He's like, that's what he's playing? I'm like, yeah! And he's singing that over it. I'm like, yeah!
That is, it's insane.
It's insane, man. It's so, okay.
That album blew my fucking mind.
I didn't get into it until I was probably 25, dude.
I didn't get into it until
27.
I was 23, I think.
Yeah, this was fairly, in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So he might have to be up there, man. Maybe we'll call him an honorable mention. I don't know. But, so Queens of Stone Age, because they have a lot of stuff. I don't like a lot of Queen stuff, but stuff I do like is some of the finest recorded music ever, period. Not that I think they're the best band, but... Okay, another one might be, man, Nothing But Thieves, dude. Like, the songs are well written.
Hold on. Let me remind you of the prompt.
Yeah.
5 bands, you're stranded on a desert island, you can't live without them.
Yeah. I'm throwing them in there, dude.
But you love these other genres.
I do, but I also like albums from other genres. You know what I mean?
That Nothing But Thieves album would challenge, like, Clockwork.
All right, so Hosier from Eden, I think is what his first record was called.
You motherfucker!
No, that's one of the best songwriting albums ever. Oh man, but I don't like his new album. So, but I don't care. That's that album.
I'm not insulting you for it. I'm just judging you hard.
That's okay. You're allowed to. I don't care. See, this is why my band doesn't suck, dude. You know what I mean? This is why.
Absolutely.
And the fifth one, dude, is hard. I don't know.
Okay, so far you have Queens of the Stone Age, Nothing But Thieves.
Well, you will make them an honorable mention too. I don't know, but definitely.
I'm not putting them in order.
Okay, but definitely Queens of the Stone Age, Hosier, however you want to say it.
How do you say it?
I think it's Hosier or Hosier.
Hosier?
He said either one's fine. It's definitely pronounced Hosier.
Well, how does he say it?
I don't know. I don't care, man.
That would make everything easier if he's just like, yes, it's Hosier. Thank you.
I don't explain.
I assume he's British.
He's Irish, actually.
Well, that accent's basically the same. So
no, it's not the same.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. My middle name's Patrick, and I drink whiskey a lot. So
I feel like I need my stupid phone for this.
I'm pretty much totally Irish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. I forgot about that.
I have a lot of freckles.
I don't. I'm like Spanish Irish. You know, I'm like from Southern Ireland, so like the Spain. Yeah. It's a whole thing. It's about my hair and my eyes. And
my family's history is from Northern Ireland. I don't know if you've ever read up on it, but we got a bit of a beef with y'all down there south.
Well, you know.
I actually don't know what it's about. There's something about the Catholics and the not Catholics.
Protestants up north.
Okay, so you got Queens of the Stone Age, Nothing But Thieves, Hosier.
Okay.
And number 5.
There's too much music, dude. I don't know. Like,
Beethoven?
Nah.
Mozart?
I'd probably go with someone else I really I enjoy listening to, singing along with maybe. Like, I fucking love Sam Cooke. He's an option.
Sam Cooke? What the hell does he do?
If you ever change your mind.
Is he modern or no?
No. He's from 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 50s, 60s, precursor to like Marvin Gaye, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, no, they were contemporary for sure.
I guess I know the name, and it's probably embarrassing.
Oh, dude, Sam Cooke is fucking awesome. I gotta send you music, dude.
Please do.
It's hard because what I listen to changes quite often, you know.
But you're probably self-obsessed too. It's like, you know, for me, every time someone's like, dude, I gotta do this. I gotta send you some music. I'm like, a month and a half goes by, and then someone texts me, and they're like, "Yo, you gonna send me music?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man. What did you think? I dropped the ball or something?" I've been masturbating and playing guitar.
Well, man, I guess I'm actively hungry for new shit. Because, like, I mean, again, I feel like that's what makes good songs, too, is, like, dipping your toes or dipping your fingers in lots of different musical pies, you know what I mean? And, like, seeing what that's like. Our band with John is, like, it's people came up to me like, I didn't even know you could do that. It's like, why? Because of my band? Because the band I'm like, Karma Vulture? Like, dude, this is much closer. Like, John's music is, like, much closer to what I listen to than my band, than Karma Vulture is.
Okay, so really quick.
Yeah. So last one. I don't know, dude. Allman Brothers, Ode to My Childhood. Let's go with them.
All right. Okay, so really quick, Squared.
Yeah.
Wait, where are we? Really quick. Anyway, some kind of underscore versus this is where we're at. What do you think is going to happen to the music scene, not only in Los Angeles, but nationally, on the internet? If there is some kind of change coming, what do you think it's going to be? Do you think that change is going to happen? And if you do, what kind of change will it be?
So, man, ideally, the answer I want to give is that, like, dude, okay, I mean, just even some of our friends, like, dude, we know some talented people. There's some good music. I listen to your guys' record all the time, like a dork, I listen to Gee's record all the time, like a dork. I listen to Sorry Party or Ned in the Dirt all the time, like a dork. Little Galaxies are in there. Like, dude, there's some good fucking music out right now. So, like, what I would like to say is, like, I believe that the merit of what we're doing will capture people's attention. Honestly, I don't know what I think will happen. I don't know what I think in reality is going to happen. Look, I would like to say that, like, I'm going to be successful at this, but I don't know that.
Well,
I'm going to keep working towards it. Like, it doesn't matter anyway. Because
okay, but looking, I'm almost
Yeah.
looking at a market level analysis, which may turn off several people.
No, I get it.
Do you have a way of looking at this where you're like, okay, because in the modern day you're forced to pretty much be manager and artist, right?
Sure.
So looking at it from the management perspective, and I suppose somewhat the artist perspective, I don't know how the two differ necessarily. Do you see a world opening up to where you can exist in a lucrative fashion? Are you discouraged? Are you optimistic?
I would say even through all this shit after 10 years, man, I'm more optimistic now than I have probably realistically ever been.
Why is that?
Of course, when I was like a cockstrong 19-year-old, I thought I was going to be a big rock star. It's just how life works sometimes.
Why are you optimistic now?
Because I understand a little bit more of like what this might entail. You know what I mean? Like the amount of work, and I'm okay with it, man. Look, and if it doesn't happen, like, you know what? Like I'm fairly smart, fairly.
No, I mean looking ahead from right now.
Okay.
Why are you optimistic?
Ooh.
Because you said you are.
From the sense of like a total market absorption kind of thing?
Where you are now looking out at the market and the way that the world might develop in the next, let's say, 5 years.
See, that's where I think our heads differ. Right? I'm not thinking about that. I'm just trying to make the best art that I can make in a way that makes me feel comfortable with being a human being, and I hope that people pay attention to that. So like I don't have a thought on it really when it comes down to it. I'm actively putting on my blinders as to not take part in a trend. Do something.
Do you think that doing that in a way actually makes you better prepared for whatever the hell economy is coming in the next?
I would like to think
few years. Yeah.
I would like to think that just by observing people rather than listening to all this noise that gets pumped into our head. I don't like listen. I don't watch the news or anything. I don't try not to do that. I try to just live my fucking life, and be as informed as I can be. I don't want to stick my head in the sand, but also I think that, like I through it all have some kind of faith in people and some kind of faith in things, at least not getting worse. And I think people like us, man, we're just going to have to figure out... Look, honestly, part of what I think is fucked up a little bit, too, about this is, like... I think maybe you and I are just born at the wrong fucking time, dude. Because I think maybe it's going to get better, and we're once again going to be working an outdated model because of change. Maybe
quit,
not.
You'll quit before it gets better, or it won't be relevant to people of a certain age or whatever it is, In any case, ladies and gentlemen, this has been whatever this podcast ends up being named from.
No, hold on. Here you go. I gotta think. This has been. And then you can insert it later. You know?
Oh, yeah. You just put the text over it. Nice. Okay, so whatever.
This has been Dick Scratchers Deluxe with Ben and Connor.
Yeah, it probably amounts to that. The man's name is Conor Spellane.
That's me.
He is from Karma Vulture, one of the best rock bands in Los Angeles.
Thanks, buddy.
I don't know. We'll talk to you again.
Check
soon.
us out. Instagram. We're going to have some videos coming out.
Yeah, we'll link to your bullshit. And
All right, peace.
All right, I won't stop the audio for a while so we can keep...
Just fucking around.
Like that time that... who was on... the CEO
First?
of Twitter?
No.
Jack Dorsey?
What's on first? What?
Oh, yeah. Why?
No, he's on third.
Jack Dorsey is what I was talking about.
Yeah.